Your Turn to Die is regarded as one of the best visual novels of all time, created by Nankidai. With stellar writing, characters, presentation, etc., Your Turn to Die has a great story, with an even greater antagonist. That antagonist being the real Sou Hiyori, also known as Midori. The general consensus of the fandom is that Midori is a horrible person, but ultimately, he is considered a great villain. However, you can't really brand him as a villain. Today, I will be bringing you folks an in-depth, accurate character analysis on Midori. I will be arguing that Midori is not a villain, that in reality, he is actually a good person, and that in fact, Midori did nothing wrong. Let's start by getting to know who Midori is. Midori is a floor master of the death game, a member of the organization Asunaro, his role being more or less that of a recruiter for candidates. He is the premier example to his fellow floor masters, with his immaculate suit and scarf and iconic rat tail hairstyle. Pancake girls want him, Shinny Winnies want to be him. Midori is ultimately a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. People are always quick to point out Midori's supposed bad deeds he's committed against the entire cast. But what people always seem to ignore is all the good he does throughout the game as well. Here are some of the good things that Midori has done. Midori serves kids ice cream after a long day at school. He performed surgery on Kyutaro and gave him CPR for 4 hours straight. Sou Hiyori took Reko on a coffee date to Starbucks when she was depressed by her criminal piece of shit brother. Speaking of that piece of shit, Alice Yabusame, Hiyori's murderer, Midori kept this menace to society in horny jail for the good of mankind due to his highly arousing feet pictures. Tastes like your sister. And say what you will about Midori, the man asks for consent. Midori is all about consent. He would never do something without both parties agreeing to it. What you have heard so far are just a handful of examples of Midori's great qualities. That said, he's still just human. Nobody's perfect. Like that one Hannah Montana song. Besides, there are way worse people in Kimi ga Shine than Mr. Hiyori. Take, for example, Anzu Kanashi. Do you folks remember back in 2016 with all those clown sightings where people dressed up as clowns and just started terrorizing everyone? Anzu was one of those degenerates. Clowns are fucking scary. How dare Anzu do this? So yeah, despite Anzu's public display of degeneracy, people in the fandom still absolutely adore her. If people can like a clown like Anzu, why is there this unfair double standard against this great man? If people can forgive Alice, the disgusting fucking filthy murder with his raging libido, or continue to love characters like, now, Lego My Ego Koro, and some fucko named Joe Tarzan, when they've shown themselves willing to sacrifice everyone else for their own survival. People should be able to love Midori, especially with all the good that he's done. Midori truly is a good-hearted and kind man. If you're about to miss an elevator, Midori will always hold the door. Midori will listen to all of your personal problems like a regular Dr. Phil, as seen with Reko or with Ginabushi.
Thank you, Daddy.
My man is an organ donor. Just ask Mai. He also donated to this GoFundMe, and so should you. People like Anzu, Alice, and that fucko Joe Tarzan may be horrible people, but Midori believes in second chances. Midori can't forget, but Midori can forgive. As for his occupation, Midori's title of floor master for Asunaro's death game is just that, a title. Just because you're a floor master doesn't automatically make you a bad person. Take, for example, Tia Safalin. Some people think she might be bad. I say, she's kinda bad though. To understand Midori's situation, we must first look at a real-life example. That example being the Stanford Prison Experiment. From August 14th to August 20th, 1971, there was an experiment conducted where some people were given the role of guards and others the role of filthy prisoners. This demonstration revealed how people will readily conform to the social roles they are expected to play, especially if the roles are as strongly stereotyped as those of the prison guards. From this study, we can conclude that people will conform to the roles they are given in the environments that they are in. If you act shy, people will treat you like you're shy. If you go grocery shopping, you will pay the bill. If you are given power, you will exploit that power that is given. Anyone in his position would follow the same path, or perhaps be even worse. So, you can't blame Midori for just being human. With great power comes great responsibility. Do you really think you would be acting differently in his situation? In fact, Midori is the victim here, working a 9-to-5 job that he hates just to get by. If anything, he's a good salaryman. Asunaro's death game is like Fortnite, or any battle royale really. You inevitably will lose. You gotta step on others to get ahead in life. It's nothing personal, kid. Midori understands this, so he plays his role, and he plays it well. There are some misconceptions about Midori stemming from misinformation. The Wikia for Kiwi Ga Shine describes Midori as a cruel, mischievous, and sadistic man, deriving happiness from teasing and harassing others for his own amusement. Now, I disagree. I wouldn't say that's the case. Midori, he wasn't being sadistic or cruel or anything of the sort. No. Midori was just being a Sussy Baka. Now, what is a Sussy Baka? The word Sussy comes from sus, which derives from the root word suspicious, in this context meaning causing one to have the idea or impression that something or someone is of questionable, dishonest, or dangerous character or condition. As for Baka, a Baka is a term in Weebanese, which means idiot, fool, and or Philistine, aka Baka. And that's what Midori is. He's a silly man, aka Baka. To bring up some historical examples of Sussy Bakas throughout the days of yore. First off, we have the 42nd President of America, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, made famous from the hit series Gaming in the Clinton Years, was considered a Sussy Baka when he got a blowjob in the Oval Office. And despite the ensuing controversy, he is still regarded to be one of the presidents of all time.
I did not have sexual relations with Kataro Verderberg.
The assassination of Julius Caesar also springs to mind. Caesar's Council of Senators were all being Sussy Bakas by arranging the death of Caesar. But by being sussy, they overthrew a horrible tyrant, and also gave us the famous last words uttered by Julius Caesar. Et tu, Sussy Brute? So, what have we learned so far? Even if people think you're suspicious or interpret your actions in a negative way, that doesn't mean you've actually done anything wrong. It's all about context. You've all played Among Us. Just because you don't understand him doesn't mean he's actually guilty of anything. In fact, the only thing he is guilty of is increasing the purchase and overall popularity of seaweed in Nigeria. Things that Midori did, it was all just a bit of lighthearted fun. He just did a little bit of trolling. They were just pranks, bro. We all take jabs at our friends every now and then. Which, that said, he's actually on pretty good terms with the majority of the cast. Except Bongo Boy. For example, take a look at this. Look at how happy he is to see his old buddy, old pal Sara. What the wiki is saying, that Hiyori's antagonistic and confrontational with the cast? No. That's all just hearsay. One other thing to note for this smear campaign portraying Midori as an irredeemable villain is that anyone can edit a wiki page. It's quite easy. For example, people edited the Candyland wiki a few years back. Some examples of how this wiki was defiled include altering the name of the character Lord Licorice to Lord Homosexual, also known as Lord Lick a Dick, and also adding a page to the wiki on a character known as Nagito Komeda. So yeah, the Your Turn to Die wikia has most likely been compromised by a person with an unfair bias towards Midori. This is just one of multiple examples of baseless, unfounded character assassination. One of the most salient subject matters people bring up when discrediting Midori is how he made Keiji relive his past, where he was also present, being the one to trick Keiji into killing his idol/inspiration, Mr. Sheeran.
Oh, misty eye.
Midori knew that Mr. Sheeran's cameo in Game of Thrones is ultimately what led to the series' horrific final season. So, Sheeran had to be taken care of, to make sure he doesn't ruin Your Turn to Die's final chapter as well.
Oh.
With Midori turning Ed Sheeran into Dead Sheeran, you see, this was a completely justifiable action. According to some, Mr. Shirin's music is god-awful. Some have reported it can cause shivers. Midori was not liking the way young Keiji was shaping up to be. Without Midori's influence, he would not have become the sex detective we all know and simp for. He could have inherited Mr. Shirin's bad habits and become like this loser. But thanks to the real Sou Hiyori, we have dem arms. He hit the gym, dyed his hair piss, and became our friendly policeman. The past does not dictate the future. What doesn't break you only makes you stronger. Guns or guns. Midori understood this. So while Keiji may have his tragic anime backstory, he is now a Giga Chad. There's also another reason for this. Midori had to do it to him. He had to take the Chad Keiji down a peg. Midori was a heavy Reddit user in his heyday, and he learned a lot from his fellow incels. Keiji needed to be taught a lesson, and as such, Midori is a hero to beta males all across the globe. Case in point, the poster boy slash face of beta males, Shin Tsukimi. Shin 0% inches Tsukimi views Midori as his ideal male role model. He's such an inspiration to him that Shin abandons himself and wants to be just like him, discarding his name and taking on the moniker of Sou Hiyori, Midori's original name. He wants to be like Sou, because Sou is so much better. Midori goes out of his way to be there for Shin, spending his valuable time in Shin's crusty gamer cove and or bachelor pad to mod his crusty Discord server. Even though Shin is a six-fingered friendless hobo. Who doesn't shower. Leave a like if you shower. Unlike Shin, who owns a crack house in Australia, Midori is responsible and does not do hardcore drugs. Still not convinced? Alright then, let me use an example. Let me begin with Shadow Shin. Shadow Shin is really condescending at the start. Like, he assumes you're stupid, asking you if you even know what a majority vote is? Midori wouldn't do that. Midori wouldn't look down on you or assume your intelligence. And perhaps most significantly, my man Midori gave Shin the chance to reunite with his little sister, Kugi Kazuchi. One of the most altruistic and thoughtful acts of kindness that Midori has ever done, giving these long-lost siblings the ability to see each other again after so many years. It truly is beautiful. Midori is the epitome of peace. It is quite literally what the name Hiyori means. He's way better than Shin 0% inches. I mean, who would even want to be Shin? Shin Tsukimi is a weenie. As for his supposed relationship with the obstructor Maple, some of you might find Hiyori's treatment of Maple quite macabre. Alright y'all, let me start with some facts here. IHOP is evil. I repeat, IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, is evil. And Maple herself is needy, obsessive, and also very sticky. If it ain't gluten-free, it's evil to me. Utilizing the scientific term, Maple is what most experts would classify as a clingy bitch. Midori truly did love her for a time, and he even gave her the ability to love. But Maple took things way too far. Midori had to write her a pity love letter just to get her to back off. And despite everything he's done for her, even bringing her back from the brink of death, she repays his kindness by trying to kill him. She wants Midori, quote unquote, inside of her, when Midori is a good Christian boy. He has to remain pure and clean, unlike that dirty sex bot Maple. My man can't have any coitus until marriage, and you know, I respect that. Except with Reiko though. Also, Nankidai stated canonically that Midori has gluten intolerance. You can't force the man to have something that's not good for him. It was a toxic relationship. Midori knew he had to escape this sticky situation. He was also way out of her league, let's be real here. My mans can be whatever's you want him to be. He's willing to let you name him almost anything. And isn't that what people look for in an ideal partner? A person who is willing to compromise and change things about themselves to satisfy you. He truly is best husbando. That man gets his hands on lots of women. Just ask Mai. God, do I wish I was more like him and or had his features, especially his rat tail hairstyle. I just want to caress it, maybe twirl it in between my fingers. Stroke it. Have you non-believers had your eyes opened yet? It is asinine to not be a fan of Midori. Far be it from me to say. So, let's now hear some personal testimonies from Midori stans from all across the worldo.
As someone who also has messed up hair, I love Midori. And that head spinny thing he can do? Talk about talented. Oh, and more than that, he's charming. I mean, I'd probably sign anything he wants me to.
You know, Midori is an inspiration, so dedicated, so devoted to his research, and wears a scarf better than anyone in the entire series ever could. That's my guy.
I used to hate Midori, but he's actually pretty cool. I mean, if you think about all the time that's spent trying to catch him, that's just time that we can all spend becoming better criminals ourselves. The guy is just trying to let us all have a chance to live our best criminal lives and live our truth. Our criminal truth, that is.
All the characters in Your Turn to Die? They're pretty good. But my man Midori, though? Sheesh!
I used to hate Midori, but then I realized he did nothing wrong. And that's why I even have a marketable plush version of him. Isn't he so cute?
Haha, what's good, everybody? So Midori is like... Oh god!
I love Midori. Thanks to him, I didn't have to be in a death game. Also, I'm subscribed to his OnlyFans. Midora the Explorer has truly touched the hearts of many. Look at all the supportive messages from guys, gals, and non-binary pals from all over, showcasing how much Midori means to them. He is not only the most important person to all of us, but possibly the most important person in Your Turn to Die. Without him, it's possible Nankidai might have made some other kind of death game where it's like Your Turn to Die, but less well written. Like this guy, the creator of Danganronpa. Even Sarah Chidoan here has expressed her appreciation for Midori, and we all know how trustworthy she is. A man of great fervor, compassion, girth, being nothing but cordial with the participants. Mr. Hiyori has never directly killed anyone in the game. He tried his best to grant people's wishes like a seaweed-headed Santa Claus. And yet, the only thanks he gets for his efforts is people trying to kill him over and over and over again. The most underappreciated character of anything ever. It's about time we give this outstanding man the love he deserves. Midori should be president of Earth. Midori deserves the world. I'm just turning into a fucking dictator now. Midori deserves our support. In Midori, we trust. We all stand with Midori. Won't you?
I stand with Midori.
I stand with Midori.
I stand with Midori.
You I stand with Midori. Also, I like fingers in my tight ass.
I stand with Midori.
I stand with Midori.
I now see that there is good in humans, thanks to Midori.
I fucking stand with Midori, mate.
I stand with Midori.
Midori is more fit to run France than I am.
Midori is more fit to run a Great Britain than I am.
I stand with Midori now.
Thought about maybe writing your feelings down in a poem?
I stand with Midori.
I stand with Midori.
I stand with Midori.
Midori can put me in face-down position.
I stand with Midori. Also subscribe to KGOKev.
Even my sister is the biggest Midori fan I know. The best floor master, the best Sou Hiyori, the best character. Midori is the best, and he did nothing wrong. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you folks enjoyed my accurate character anal sus. Thank you to everybody who submitted assets for the video. Make sure to follow the influencers who took the time out of their busy schedules to spread the good word of Midori. Everything they said is true, 'cause remember, If you can't trust influencers, well, who can you trust? And of course, even if you still think Midori's bad, you gotta admit, he's kinda bad though.